Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Tuesday, September the 22nd. The year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Brokers! Oh, how we love to talk about brokers. But first, the disclaimer is these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading's extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. Brokers. I get asked this question, probably a few times a month. What broker? Or my broker did this, or my broker did that, or these brokers do this and that. And all I can say is serenity. No, I'm not an alcoholic. Never have been. I mean, I don't drink. I haven't. I just don't. Never got into that habit. But the thing is, you can't control brokers. You want to play in the trading game, you pretty much have to get a broker. That's just the way it is. Whether it's a US broker, quote unquote, onshore, or an offshore broker in the Caribbean or some other islands in the Mediterranean or wherever. And brokers are in business. And when you're in business, your main objective is to make money. Otherwise, if you're not making money and you're in business, then you're going to be out of business. So, they go, oh, they run my stops. Yeah, they're really after your .01 mini lot account. I mean, or your one lot account. I mean, it's $1 trillion industry here, forex trading. Trillion. So, if you think your retail account they they're really concerned, no, they're not. So let's just get real here. Don't, and don't even waste your time focusing on brokers. Now, that being said, sure, find the broker that works best for you. Fast response time, small commission or better spreads or whatever the combination is. In fact, I'm thinking about moving to a different broker just because their commission and their spreads are tight. So when you look at what I pay in spread versus what I would pay in spread plus commission, it looks like it might make sense to move over. So I might be doing that at the end of the year. Um, but I just find so many traders, especially beginning traders, who want to blame everything on their brokers running their stops and all that nonsense. Um, just stop. It's just nonsense. I mean, focus on making your pips. You make enough pips, you don't have to worry about the broker. So what are you going to do? Because hey, I know I've gotten some bad breaks and some bad fills or some uh, bad non-fills. I mean, I remember once I had I think it was a sell order on the Australian US dollar, and it peaked up at and it hit. And it's like, there it is on the bid chart. Why didn't you execute my sell? And then it went pulled off, and I would have made a ton. I mean, we're talking, a couple hundred pips. I pinpointed it, and they didn't fill it. And, I complained, but, could I win? No. I mean, when I used to trade stocks, I mean, I caught brokers cheating red-handed. I had the evidence. I had two accounts, and so I put in an order to buy 1,000 shares on both accounts at the exact same time. Each account got a partial fill of 100. Well, guess what? Those were limit orders. Whichever limit order was first should have gotten whatever shares were available. But they cheated. Why did they cheat? Because they could charge full commission on that partial fill. So let's just say there's 10 people wanting to buy that stock, and each one wanted to buy 1,000 shares. Well, whoever was first should get the 1,000 shares that are available. But if they give each trader 100 shares, then they just made 10 commissions instead of one. What would you do? So, and I had it all documented. I sent it to the SEC and nothing happened. So, that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes when you catch them red handed like that. So, what do? Either you keep trading with them or you find another broker. I mean, you roll with the punches. It's like if you play sports and you got a referee and the referee's a bad referee, you get a bad call. Are you going to let them take your head out of the game and you wind up making more mistakes or whatever? Or are you just going to say, "Oh well," and just keep playing? Well, it's here. You get a bad fill. Oh well, keep trading. They don't fill your order at all. Oh well, keep trading. You know, they slip your order a pip or two on exit. Oh well, keep trading. I mean, you've got to get your head in the game. Okay, I've told you that before. And the thing is, if you've got your stop losses set, then they're not going to beat you too bad. On the other hand, if you let them get inside your head, then you're going to have all this anger. You're going to have regret. You're going to have fear. You're going to be afraid. Oh, well, if I do this, they might do that. They're messing with your head. Don't allow that to happen. Because remember, pain does not come from the market. Pain does not come from your broker. Pain comes from your reaction to the market or to your broker. You've got to learn to take this in stride. Just like, I was in a trade not too long ago on the pound, and I got like 2 pips. It crossed over the double O. I jumped out, and it ran up another 5 pips. I could be mad. I could do I could do some rogo, but it's like I got 2 pips. It's in the bag, you know. And if I do that all day long, if I did that 10 times in a row, that's 20 pips. I got in the trade, I got out of the trade. I didn't take a loss. I made money. Somebody wrote to me and they said, they finally figured it out. A 10 pip, or what was it? Break even plus one is much better than a 10 pip loss. And so once again, you've got to take that profit when you can. That's the money management side of things, okay? You got the money management side, you got the risk management side, and you got your brain management, okay? Your entry triggers and exit. Your entry, you already know what your method is, your system of getting into it, but it's getting out of it. Do you get out with a loss or you get out with a gain? But you can't let the broker, what happens, affect you negatively. Otherwise, you're not going to trade very well. Okay, so we look here at the weekly chart. We got 1, 2 gap fills that haven't happened yet. Now, we had the opening range put in yesterday, and you can see here there was a nice move through that yesterday's low. Very nice move. I hope somebody here took that. In fact, if you're watching this video, can you do me a favor and make a comment on the video out there in YouTube land and let me know what method you trade, what your main method is. You might trade more than one, but you pretty much have your go-to, the main one. I'd like to know, just out of curiosity. So I usually get about 100 and some views. So I'd like to see at least 100 some comments because I'm just really curious because it might help me, create a new indicator or a new system. And you might ask, why do you need to do that if your stuff works, if you're so great, blah, 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 right? Well, I can always learn. That's why. Um, you, there might be one little piece that somebody asks about or shows me. It's like, ooh, I could use that. It's like when I show people the mid dots or I show them the horizontal line, they're like, man, I wish I would have known that later. So you can see here we're 451 pips below the yearly open, 14 off the daily, 126 off the weekly. So once again, some strong trades here. Now we had that inside bar 1 week ago, and you can see here we broke through it. Nice move off of that, and then coming back the other way, up 25 pips. And that was funny because I remember, what was it, yesterday, I was thinking it was going to go this way, and it decided to go the other way. But that's why you don't think. You trade what you see. Inside bar trades, there's a lot here on the weekly, and you can see you got a few on the monthly also. Now, you might ask me, is the monthly mean more than the weekly or the daily? It's like, no, I mean, it's just a horizontal line. You take what you can get. Pound pairs, once again, over 100 pips, and the GU clocking in at 155, so that's another nice move there. And you see it took out the pivot point a few hours ago and then came right back down. And just for those tuning in, the FPP, that's the future pivot point. So you'll know before the end of the day, or right near the end of the day, where that pivot point is. You don't have to wait for it, so you can target your trades accordingly. So you can see here, price has already taken out the future pivot point. Rats. Oh, look at what the rats did today. Unfortunately, or I could say, I was short. I took about 5 pips. I left about 50 on the table. But that's okay because when I did it, I was actually trading on my cell phone. I was still horizontal. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't really feel like getting up, turning the computer on. I woke up early. I looked at the charts and went, this looks like a trade here. But use your computer. Try not to trade off the phone. I really advise against it. And you can see here the lower rat zone was also the weekly and the monthly. And so those green rats were paid handsomely. So if you haven't downloaded the latest version of the rat, you might want to. Once again, took out the pivot. We can see here we almost took out that 2702 pivot. I mean, we just missed it by 10 pips. And switching back to the daily, you can see boom, boom, boom. Those were taken out. Wick zone, gotta love the wick zone. In and out, in and out. 70% of the time, price leaves the wick zone. I mean, Vegas would kill for those odds. They really would. Oh, this is on the Walmart scalper. You can see here, there was a couple of, there's a buy trigger that paid off. Looks like it should be getting ready to do a short trigger, but this is M1 and we're looking at M5 here. Maybe I should change that indicator to dynamic scalper. Change that to current. I said current. Thank you. And there we go. Would have been a nice trade here. We right there hitting the Walmart line with the 1 ball. That would make me think twice, but you can see here on the scalper, there was your trigger here, 2 ball trigger at the short. That would have paid off very nicely. And I made an indicator. Somebody asked me for an OSMA indicator showing how many bars since it crossed above the line and below. They like trading it. And I'm going to probably do some more work there. But fellow traders, come on. Forget about the broker. Just trade. Do what you can. Focus on what you can control. You know, what you trade, when you get in, when you get out, how much you trade. Because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And new viewers, welcome aboard. Click subscribe. This is TheRumpledOne over and out.